what is the criteria for saying that Terrence Crawford beats Errol Spence? Let's talk.
Straighter, not a roundhouse right hand.
And that's what we've been talking about. The straight shot is the one where he gets leverage on it.
I don't want to kill
Pull
somebody
back
for
a little bit.
seconds.
Nah, I want a body on my record.
Now, I want to see you fight motherfuckers. I do. All right, I'm with you. I'm with you. As long as you're trying to fight the greats, the best competition.
Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Yo, it's the best, fight the best. If you ain't with the moto, just click the link, bitch, and get buried like the rest. It ain't gonna work how you want it. These trolls already tried, too many come but don't leave. So if you hear, you gotta die. I'm spitting straight facts. These bitches crying cause they hate that. The LDBC's the top topic, bitch, hate that. We the ones that bring the truth to these fans. So while you hate, I'ma laugh and keep counting these bands. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you.
Welcome to the graveyard.
So I'm constantly hearing this from people all the time, man. It's just, oh, well, Terrence Crawford's going to beat him. And when Terrence Crawford beat him, what are you going to do? And all this other weird stuff, like on a constant basis. And I'm sitting here like, can Terrence Crawford beat Errol Spence? Of course he can. Anybody can beat anybody. If that's your night, then that's just your night. You're going to have success on your night. If that's your night, you're going to win. If it isn't your night, then it's going to be difficult for you to win. So, yes, Terrence Crawford can beat Errol Spence. Yes. But where are you guys getting the criteria for this? I mean, if you stack them up side by side, if you stack them up, it weighs heavy in Errol Spence's favor to be the favorite. I do not know where you guys are getting your criteria for the outcome that you guys believe is going to happen. I don't see it. You guys are living off of this man at 140 being able to do all these mythical, magical, mystical movements, moonwalking against the grain, to the left and to the right, throwing these dynamite jabs from out of nowhere off the top rope and from underneath the mat and the turnbuckle. And I'm sitting here like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Like, why can someone not have an honest to God, realistic stance and tell me what the criteria is that you guys are using to pick Terrence Crawford? This is not hard. It really is not hard. I mean, there's only but so many things a fighter can do. There's only but so many. And if you guys are living off Terrence Crawford, he stopped everybody he's fought. That's fine. That's fine to say he stopped everybody he's fought. That's fine. But then now you have to start going into question, who did he fight? Right? You have to start going into question. And every time, without fail, you guys will say Sean Porter. Without fail, Sean Porter. That's where you guys will go. That's what you will say, Sean Porter. You will pick a man in Sean Porter that y'all did not even want Terrence Crawford to fight. That's who you pick. Sean Porter. You pick a man who told the world he wanted to retire. He was done with boxing after the Errol Spence fight. He just didn't know how to tell his dad. That's who you guys are picking. You pick the guy in Sean Porter that after the Formella Milk fight, I said, and it's still on video, that Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence or somebody needs to fight this guy right now because he is finished. That's what I said. He's food. That's what I said. The video is still up. The post-fight Sean Porter Formula Milk fight, the post-fight is still up. I'm blown away at it. It just baffles me. Like, I don't know what you guys are using. I don't know what criteria y'all are using. I really don't know what criteria y'all are using. And without fail, when I ask this question, what criteria are y'all using to say that Terrence Crawford beats Errol Spence? What criteria? Your only response is, what criteria is Errol Spence? You don't just answer the question, because you cannot answer the question. Just the same way y'all said about, Errol Spence wanted to fight Jeff Horn. Errol Spence did not want to fight Jeff Horn. Errol Spence said, I will fight Jeff Horn. He's food. That's what happened. He did not go out of his way. Oh, man, that's a fight I want to make. No, he said that man's food. I will fight Jeff Horn. His words verbatim. I will fight Jeff Horn. He's food. That's what he said. He never one time said, I'm changing up the road that I'm on, the way that I'm going, and then I will fight whoever. No, he said, I am fighting this guy, and this guy. And whoever has the belt over there, well, Terrence Crawford don't have the belt right now, but it's Jeff Horn. Whoever has it, when I finish this, whoever has it, I'm fighting them. I'm going after them. That's what he said. That's what he said. But y'all just missed it. Oh, no, he was calling out Jeff Horn. He wanted to fight Jeff Horn. No, I remember. I seen the articles, and I remember. Yeah, you might have saw an article. You might have saw an interview of somebody else. But you didn't see Errol Spence doing it. What you saw Errol Spence doing is saying, he's food. I will fight him. That's what you saw. Nothing more, nothing less. That's what you saw. Now, I would still love somebody to explain to me the criteria that you all are using to pick Terrence Crawford over Errol Spence. Oh, man, he hits harder than Errol Spence. He hits harder, man. I'm telling you right now, he hits harder. Says who? Oh, Sean Porter says it. His friend. His best friend. The guy who he refused to fight. They both refused to fight each other when they both were champions. But they fight each other for a mandatory. So his friend said it. So we should believe his friend because his friend said it. So then if that's the case, I guess we should believe all of Errol Spence's friends who say that Errol Spence is going to demolish this man. If we're going to believe Sean Porter, his friend, then we should believe all of Errol Spence's friends. Oh, no, because, all these guys, all these guys say they don't. Who? What are you talking about? What criteria are you guys using? Oh, he's faster. Says who? Who says this? Oh, listen, the eye test, man. I'm telling you, eye test. The eye test says he's faster. But he was getting pieced up by Kell Brook. Badly. He was losing badly. Like, that fight was not close. No, he caught Kell Brook lunging in and stopped the fight. Congratulations. That was Kell Brook's stupidity for lunging in. He was losing badly. He hadn't won a round. So, what are we talking about? What Kell Brook was having so much success with was straight shots. That's what he was having so much success with, straight shots. So if we are using the fact that Terrence Crawford, let's say Terrence Crawford, it's a fact that Terrence Crawford's faster than Errol Spence. That's fine. That's fine if that's what you want to use. You want to say Terrence Crawford's faster, but he's faster than Kell Brook too. He's faster than Kell Brook. He's faster than Errol Spence. He's faster than all these guys. If you want to use that criteria, if you want to say that, you want to say speed, no problem. But his speed was not. It was detrimental. Because his speed is in hooks, not in straight shots. Terrence Crawford's speed is in hooks. Errol Spence does a lot of straight shots. Majority of his punches are straight shots. Kell Brook's punches are straight shots. Oh, but he don't matter. He caught Kell Brook and he knocked him out. He caught a guy with 2 broken eyes. He caught a guy already damaged on both sides of his skull. That's who he caught. Oh, man, you just discredited Terrence Crawford. No, I am not. Those are facts. It is facts that Sean Porter said he wanted to retire after he fought Errol Spence. That is a fact. It is a fact that Kell Brook had 2, not 1, 2 broken eyes. It is a fact that Kell Brook was beating Terrence Crawford. Those are facts. Did he ultimately lose? Yes, he did. Did Sean Porter ultimately lose? Yes, he did. Were they both stopped? Yes, they were. Yes, they were. That does not change anything that I'm saying to you. That does not change anything. What is the criteria that you all are using? What is it? Terrence Crawford can wrestle? Congratulations. This is boxing. What is the criteria? Terrence Crawford has better footwork? Where? We are not at 140. We are at 147. And at 147, he has not used any of this mythical, magical footwork that everybody's talking about, or the great footwork of which he did use at 140. He has not used it at all. At all. And if he does use this great footwork, is he running? Oh, you'll see that again. Oh, yeah, you'll see that again. You'll see it again. Because if he uses this great footwork to run away from Errol Spence, what is the point of it? Because you did not do that with anybody else. So if you use this great footwork to run away from Errol Spence, then what you are proving is that everybody you fought was trash. Because you did not do that to anybody at 147. And if you stand there and bang with Errol Spence like you claim you're going to do, so you guys are telling me that Green Beans, who dropped Terrence Crawford, is better than Errol Spence. So you guys are telling me that Green Beans can drop Terrence Crawford, but Errol Spence cannot. Errol Spence cannot hurt this man, but Green Beans can. I'm truly just asking, what is the criteria? What is it that you all are using? If you can explain this, I have no problem. I have no beef. None at all. No issue. Explain it to me. Someone explain this to me, because nobody can. You get down, even Coach Wap, he couldn't explain it. He just says skills pay the bills. What skills? What skill does Terrence Crawford have that Errol Spence does not? What skill did Terrence Crawford show to the world that Errol Spence didn't against better competition? What skill? I'm totally confused. And I'm literally asking an honest-to-God question. Literally asking an honest-to-God question. I'm not trying to hate on Terrence Crawford or hate on anybody or disrespect anybody. I'm asking an honest-to-God question. What skill has Terrence Crawford showed to the world? What does he show to the world where you guys are so convinced that he beats Errol Spence? Because of what he did at 140? Because what? Oh, he stopped Sean Porter? Okay. What does that have to do with Errol Spence? Oh, Errol Spence didn't stop him, but those are 2 different fights. They're 2 different fights. What does one have to do with the other? I can understand if Terrence Crawford would have stopped Sean Porter before Sean Porter fought Errol Spence. I can understand that. I could totally understand it. That would make sense. But he did not. He did not at all. He did not. Like, Benavidez went 12 rounds. He went 12 rounds. Did he ultimately get stopped? Yes, he did. But he went 12 rounds laying on the ropes. That's what happened. There is people like Roy Jones and others saying this fight doesn't go 6 rounds. Terrence Crawford stops Errol Spence in 6 rounds or less. But Benavidez went 12 rounds. So you're telling me that Benavidez is better than Errol Spence? Benavidez's skill set is good enough for him to go 12 rounds, but Errol Spence gets stopped in 6 or less? You guys running here on a constant basis talking about somebody disrespecting Errol Spence. Disrespecting Terrence Crawford. But all you all are doing is disrespecting Errol Spence. Benavidez on one leg went 12 rounds. 12 rounds. I'm really baffled with this one. Trying to determine why you guys say what you say without calling y'all fucking haters. I'm truly baffled. Truly and honestly baffled. How do you have Terrence Crawford beating Errol Spence? On what skill set are you guys using? Oh, ring IQ, BFTB. It's ring IQ. Ring IQ? Well, I would challenge and say Terrence Crawford is stupid. I would say Errol Spence is way smarter. And that's not, I'm not hating on Terrence Crawford by calling him fucking stupid. I'm not hating. Bro, if you're fucking dumb, then you're dumb. That's not my fault. That's your fault. That is Terrence Crawford's fault for being fucking stupid. If you have all of these skills, why don't you use them? If you have every skill set, you can move, you can punch, you can do this. Why is the only thing you do is use dog and punch? Why is that all you do? The dog, it's the dog. I gotta outdog him. I'm gonna show you I got a dog. Okay. All right. Well, what if a bigger dog comes in the yard? Then what? If a bigger dog comes in the yard, are you gonna run? Are you gonna run around the yard, Terrence Crawford? When a bigger dog comes in the ring and you realize that you cannot outdog Errol Spence, are you gonna then start running? Are people gonna say that you're running? Are they going to call you a runner now because you're not fighting Errol Spence the way you fought everybody else? Now you're moving around the ring and Errol Spence having to chase you and cut the ring off? Is that what's going to happen? Because you didn't do that for nobody else. Everybody else, you went straight at him with the dog. So it baffles me. It baffles me. Like, what if skills pay the bills? What skill? Errol Spence went to the Olympics. You were sent home. So using that criteria alone, Errol Spence has more skills than you. You were sent home. You have been fighting lefty and righty your whole life. You have been changing stance your whole life. You were sent home. Ugas, Danny Garcia sent you home. Those are facts. You were sent home. You didn't make it at all. You didn't make it. So if skills pay the bills, what skill did you use? Because you were sent home. Oh, that's the amateurs. That's fine. No problem. It's the amateurs. No problem. No problem at all. You go to the pros and you start out at 135. Why? You're not a little dude. You were literally cutting weight to make weight. You're not a little dude. But people will come in here over and over again. Oh, Errol Spence he's a weight bully. Errol Spence is a weight bully. He's a weight bully. Errol's a weight bully. Errol needs to move up because he's a weight bully. Why don't you move up? You're a weight bully. That's what they were saying to Errol Spence. Terrence Crawford was cutting weight. He was cutting weight. Terrence Crawford could have came into professional boxing as a welterweight. Yes, he could have came into professional boxing as a welterweight. He fought a welterweight moving up, coming through the rankings. In his earlier fights, he had fought a welterweight. He can make the weight. He could have made the weight. He could have started out his career at welterweight. He did not. He did not. He was a weight bully. He was fighting at smaller weight classes, making a name at smaller weight classes, and then moved up in weight to a more natural weight of 147, of which he could have started out in the beginning of his career. That's no hate. That's no shade. Those are just facts. So if Errol would have started at 135 and dominated and went to 140 and dominated and went to 147 and now is dominating, then what? That doesn't make him pound for pound because he killed himself to make a smaller weight class. And I wouldn't give him pound for pound for killing himself to make a smaller weight class. No, I wouldn't. He's been the IBF champion his entire championship career. Has been the IBF champion. All the other weight classes are the ones that allow you to gain weight. Right? So I'm asking a simple, honest, and logic question. What skill set are you guys talking about that you guys would say favors Terence Crawford? And this is the reason why you're picking Terence Crawford. It's an honest question. No disrespect. What skill set? Speed? All of his punches are in hooks. Arrows are straight. Same way Kell Brooks were straight. And Terence Crawford's are in hooks. What? Footwork? He doesn't use it. Errol Spence's footwork is to make the ring a phone booth. That is Errol Spence's footwork, to cut the ring off, to put a lot of pressure on you. He keeps you at his distance and fights you at his distance, whatever distance that it is that he wants. Terence Crawford uses his footwork to get away. That's how he used it at 140, to get away. To get away from the heat and then to jump back in and re-engage. That's how he used it. He didn't use masterful footwork to step around you and keep connecting and I'm staying on the offense, but I'm stepping around. And no, he didn't do any of that. He used his footwork to get away and reset. That's how he used it. If Errol Spence is cutting the ring off, and he's very good at it, he's masterful at cutting the ring off, where are you going? Where are you going? So then we can neutralize the footwork. We can neutralize his speed because Terence Crawford's speed is in hooks. And if you're throwing a hook and I'm throwing a straight, the fastest distance from point A to point B is the straightest line. That favors Errol Spence. The footwork favors Errol Spence because Terence Crawford uses it to get away. Errol Spence uses it to close the distance. So what skill set are we talking about? Counters? Oh, he's going to counter him. He's going to counter him. Terence Crawford has very good counters. Very good counters. He could counter Errol Spence. He could counter the shit out of him. That could potentially happen. But you're saying that's the only thing? So if Errol Spence takes away his counter ability just by focusing on the jab, then what? Oh, he can counter the jab, BF. Yeah, but he counters the jab with hooks. If Errol just throwing straight and being defensively sound, then he's going to look like Mikey Garcia fight. So then what? Oh, he's stronger. But says who? If that's the mentality that you all are believing, that he's just a stronger fighter, you know, he's a harder puncher and a stronger fighter. Well, what happens if Terence Crawford hits him and nothing? What happens if he doesn't get the same result that he's gotten with other fighters? Then what? Because you guys are betting on Errol getting knocked out and things of this nature. Okay, well, what if Terence Crawford hits him clean with some clean shit and it does not affect him the way that Terence Crawford's punches have affected other fighters? Then what? Then what? I just don't understand what you guys are banking on. I really don't. I don't understand what y'all are banking on. So I ask again, what criteria are you all using? What criteria? What are y'all using to say that Bud beats Errol Spence? What criteria? Let me know. BFTB. Shout to the mighty LDBC. And I'm out.